Hello. It's of course a Cowboys video. The picture back there should tell you. Training camp is going on now in Oxnard, California, and of course there are going to be questions. There always are. And of course there are the big ones that are coming up. Of course, Bryant. You know, he got arrested and all that stuff. How is the team going to deal with that? And is what happened, him getting arrested for hitting his mom, is that going to be a distraction or not? Of course, nobody knows. Nobody knows. But that's not going to get into that because you know, I already said what I said in my last video, and I don't need to say anymore. Next big question, this involves cornerback Mike Jenkins. Now, what's going on is he has a shoulder problem that he had surgery on, and according to what I read, it doesn't seem to be getting better. So he scheduled an appointment with a surgeon who's known to some as Dr. Doom. His name is James Andrews. Now, the shoulder problem is so bad it has resulted in Jenkins going on the physically unable to perform list. I think the man is trying to figure out a way to get out of Dallas any which way he can because he supposedly feels disrespected. And the facts are, in free agency, the Cowboys signed Brandon Carr, and in the draft, the Cowboys traded up to number 6 to get Morris Clay. Those two are really good. Jenkins is coming across to me as a total moron because, you know, you have a chance to really, you know, be a part of something great. You're coming across as a baby. Now, if Jenkins had had this shoulder surgery done probably in maybe late January, maybe early February, I think he would be more ready for training camp than he is now. But instead he went to doctors not associated with the Cowboys or not recommended by the Cowboys, I don't know how that goes, to have it checked out, and I have no idea. But all I know is he's looking for a way to get out of Dallas and being put on the physically unable to perform list, maybe his way of doing it. There were reports, I think, earlier in the offseason about him asking for a trade. The Cowboys aren't going to give him up because at this day and age you need at least 4 cornerbacks, and you know what, we don't have a lot of depth. The team doesn't have a lot of depth at that position. So I mean, he really needs to suck it up. But this could wind up becoming a pretty iffy situation as the year progresses. And that's another situation. I don't know how the Cowboys are going to handle it. We'll just have to wait and see. Now on to other things. You know, Morris Claiborne's got the cast off his wrist, so he's ready to roll. You got, you know, all the veterans and stuff. You know, Miles Austin, Tony Romo, Jason Witten. They're all in California. You know, out there, they're getting ready to work. They're getting ready to do their thing. And the other thing, and then you got all the roster moves and everything. And there's certain positions have attracted a lot of attention. The key one of the key ones that I'm going to focus on one is the third wide receiver position because, you know, you already got Bryant starting. You got Miles Austin starting. The key thing is, who is going to be that third wide receiver? If the franchise tag had been used on LaRon Robinson instead of Anthony Spencer, I think the third wide receiver position could have been taken care of, but you know, they weren't allowed to use the franchise tag on Robinson, so they let him go. It kind of sucked. But, you know, what can you really do about it? So, that position is one that I think needs to be paid attention to. Sorry. They got Kevin Ogletree. They got a few others But I think that the third wide receiver position is going to be one that's going to be very, very iffy because nobody knows. I guess preseason is a good way to evaluate the whole thing. Next up, of course, everyone also talking about who's going to step up and try and take the pressure, the defensive pressure off of DeMarcus Ware and Jay Ratliff, so that they don't have to do all that. I think Sean Lee is very, very capable of doing it. He's definitely proving himself to be one of those leaders on the team. I know he's going into his third season. That's understandable. So he's still pretty young, but he's making his mark. I'm hoping and expecting. What do I expect from him? A breakout season. One where he, pads his stats, tackles, gets some sacks in there, and he makes it to the Pro Bowl, which I think would be fantastic. And the offensive line's pretty iffy too, so they're trying to get that all put together. And there's the only thing I'm hoping is that the offensive line becomes such a cohesive unit, it can at least protect Romo to where he's not running for his life on almost every play, because seeing him kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off was very disturbing to see. I didn't like that. I don't want to see Romo playing with busted ribs again. That's just, watching the footage of him practicing throws and him grimacing in pain was just, ooh, that's bad. That was pretty bad. But that's going to be it for me. I will probably have another video coming up later on in the week. So, I hope all of you have a fabulous day. I'll see you later.